What's happening, everybody, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com. Coming back to you with another video, and it's been about 2 months since I purchased my first real estate property. And it's not just any real estate property, it's an investment property. I purchased a 2-family investment property, and I decided to live in one unit, owner occupy it. And when I purchased the house, there was a tenant that was already in the property. So it's been 2 months. I purchased this property February 7th. I closed on it. So today is April 8th. So it's been about 2 months. And I want to share with you the real deal of what it's like to be a landlord. What it's like from my experience over the last 2 months. And I can tell you right now that it's been quite an interesting last 2 months. So I'm gonna go down and break down a bunch of things, from tenant issues to automating bills, collecting rent, repairs, a little trick that is actually gonna save me about $30,000 over 30 years, and talk about some entity structure. So if you guys are excited, do me a big favor and smash that like button. I see 34 people in the house right now, so let me know where you are from in the country. And also, have you ever thought about purchasing a real estate property? We got fantastic Tennessee in the house. We got the cherry picker, Andrew. We got Amy. What's going on, everybody? Glad to have you here. All right, so let's start off with tenant issues. So I've got to be careful not to get into too much detail, because there are some fair housing laws and different things in terms of what I'm allowed to share and not share. So I need to be careful here. But I can tell you right now that there's been quite a few little incidents which have occurred. I can tell you that about a month ago, I woke up and I heard a beeping noise, like a tow truck, and looked out my window, and I noticed that my tenant's car was getting towed out of the front yard. They decided to go over the grass and they got stuck, right? So that was one instance right there. I actually just got a call the other day, and pretty much what happened was there is a leak in my second floor right now in the shower when the shower goes on. So there's actually water that is leaking, either going through the shower pan, we're not sure yet, but I had to call a plumber. But there's a leak from the shower down the second floor into the first floor into the kitchen. So hired a plumber. He was supposed to come today between 2 and 4 o'clock, and he never showed up. Called the company and they said, you never had an appointment. So those are a couple different instances. Did have a shower head issue that we had to get resolved, but that was no big deal. But there's been, a couple little issues with repairs and whatnot. Overall, the tenants have been great. I'm lucky enough to have some really cool tenants, and definitely connecting with them well. But those are a couple little issues that I had to deal with. And a lot of people said, Steve, when you get into real estate, you're gonna have to deal with those late night calls, things going wrong, leaks, plumbing issues, tenant issues. And I've certainly experienced a couple of them so far in only the first couple of months. Now, it's nothing serious, but what I've learned is you've got to be on your game, right? You've got to be checking your phone. Matter of fact, when I had received that call for the leak from the second floor to the first floor, I was in Maryland at my brother's bachelor party, hosting a bachelor party for him. So I had to stop what I was doing and call plumbers and get things set up and arranged. So, owning real estate, I could already see, isn't something that's super passive if you're going to manage it on your own. So I could definitely see in the future having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 properties, spending that 5 to 10% per month to hire a management company. So that was the first thing I want to talk about. Number 2, when you purchase your property, one of the things that I did was I went ahead and I automated all of my bills, from paying my mortgage to paying my gas to paying my electric. Any bills that I had, and I have just in my general life, I always take the time up front to automate my bills, right? So if you're blessed enough to have enough money and you're able to stay organized and manage your finances, one of the things I recommend doing is automating your bills so they get prepaid automatically without you having to remember them. Now, it's not going to be for everybody based on your finances if you're always shifting things around, but that's one thing that I took care of. Rent automation, actually not automation, but rent collection. There's a couple ways that you can collect rent. You can collect it physically, right, by collecting it in cash if you want to, or collect it physically with a check. There's other ways you could also collect it digitally. So what I actually did is I set up a app called, I believe it's called Venmo, and pretty much what they could do is they could send the money to you free through your phone, just through an app, and it's pretty simple. And once the money hits the app, then you could send it to your bank for free. So I've been using that, and I've also been using checks as well because my tenants pay separately. So that's a cool little tip. Venmo, it's a great way to be able to send and receive money with very little fees. Repairs and upgrades in the last couple of months. If you guys didn't see my video and some of my posts on Facebook, I've done quite a few upgrades to my real estate property. So I actually retiled the kitchen, put up a new backsplash, repainted the ceiling and also the walls in the kitchen, put in a new sink, new countertop, new microwave, new cabinets, and I also upgraded the bathroom a bit by putting a tile surrounding around the bathtub and some new fixtures and whatnot. So I've definitely spent a little bit of money. I think it was around like $3,500 with labor and parts and everything to upgrade the property. And one of the best places that I've found based on my research to put money into your property is the kitchen and the bathroom. Definitely help to make your property more appealing. And if you guys don't know my whole story, I'm owner occupying the property, but in about probably in about 10 months, I'm gonna move out of this property and I'm gonna rent it out so it's fully performing. And then I'm gonna probably purchase a single family or another multifamily, just depending on, what I decide to do. Also wanna share with you a quick tip. So when you purchase a property and you get a loan, there's gonna be something called an amortization schedule. And pretty much that's like your loan pay down in terms of how much principal and interest you're gonna pay. So when you get a loan, typically you're paying much more interest up front. So you're not actually building equity right up front from my understanding. But one tip and one thing that you can do is you can actually pay more money each month towards your principal, which will then reduce your overall interest that you're gonna pay on your loan over 30 years and reduce the duration of your loan. So I actually am paying an extra $100 per month towards my principal. So instead of paying $1,350, which is my mortgage, taxes, insurance, I'm paying $1,450. So if I was to just pay my loan off normally, my $177,000 loan, I would actually pay $177,000 plus almost another $180,000 in interest. By paying an extra $100 a month, and don't even think about the $100, but paying an extra $100 a month, I'm gonna save 5.5 years on my loan, and I'm gonna save over $30,000 in interest payments. So you can actually pay additional money towards your principal each month to reduce the duration of your loan and also pay less in interest over a 30-year period. So my 30-year loan is now a 24.5-year loan. If I decide to pay an extra $100 a month towards my principal, I might increase that in the future. I might decrease it because for some people, it's actually smarter if you're a savvy investor to not pay off your loan early because you can earn more money, maybe 8 or 10 or 12% doing something else versus saving, 4%. So on and so forth. So for someone like myself who isn't a savvy investor, I'm not huge into stocks, I have money sitting in the bank, I'm not the smartest investor, I'm learning a lot. For me, it makes sense to pay some money towards my principal to save that money long term until things change. So that's pretty much my 2-month update. It's been a cool experience. I moved from my apartment, which was around $1,500 a month, and now I'm living in a multifamily home where my liability is really only about $150 a month towards the mortgage, taxes, and insurance because I've got my tenants paying about $1,200 plus security, but $1,200 towards the mortgage, taxes, insurance. So I'm living there for about $150 a month plus my electricity and gas. And of course, there's depreciation, there's write-offs. We've got people talking about taxes. That is one of the benefits of owning real estate, right? If you live in a multifamily like this, you pay less for rent because you've got your tenant paying, you've got tax benefits, you could write off interest, depreciation. I'm not an accountant. I know the rules have kind of changed a little bit, but there's definitely tax benefits. And don't forget, when you're paying your mortgage off, your tenant's actually paying your mortgage down for you and you're building up equity. So, right now I've got about $76,000 left on my loan. My house is probably worth about $240,000. So I've got around $60,000 or $70,000 of equity. Within 5 or 10 years, that thing might be down to $120,000. So I might have $100,000 in equity minus real estate fees. So many benefits to owning real estate, but don't forget, there's going to be things that are a little bit annoying and take hard work and effort, like dealing with tenants, repairs, snow removal, landscaping. I'm going to be shelling out probably $1,500 in the next couple of months to do some landscaping and improve the atmosphere of the property, especially considering that I'm going to be moving out. But yeah, there's communication, there's phone calls, there's setting up plumbers and different people who have to come, so on and so forth. So it's been a pretty cool learning experience so far. It's definitely not as hard as I thought. But you do have to, be paying attention to the details. You do need to be communicating with your tenants. If there's an issue, you need to make sure that you remember what the issue is and take care of it, and kind of stay on top of your game. But I think this is a great way to build wealth long term. And yeah, just wanted to share my story with you guys so far. What's up, Biz Hacks? Awesome. Yep, talking about reducing tax liability. We got Swamp Picker. My toilet has a leak, come fix it. I'll tell you right now, I didn't realize how hard it was to get a plumber. I called about 10 plumbers up, and all of them were booked out like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So one tip I want to give you, and this is one tip I'm taking for myself as well, and I'm going to start doing, is I'm going to start building relationships with the different people in the industry. So build that relationship with a plumber, right? Build the relationship with a roofer. Build the relationship with someone who knows windows or a handyman or someone who understands HVAC, because when ish hits the fan and you're dealing with a problem, you want to be prepared. So what I actually did when I had received the call from my tenant about the leak is I actually started to, and this is another great tip, I started to reach out to my network. So that's why it's so important. I always recommend people start a Facebook group or start a YouTube channel, build relationships with people in the industry, whether that's the reselling industry or the real estate industry or whatever industry you're in. Build relationships, because instead of you going out into the yellow pages and trying to figure out who's who and who's reputable and who's good, you can talk to people who are already in the business, who understand the game, and say, hey, do you know a plumber? Do you know a framer? Do you know a roofer? Do you know someone who can do this or that or fix this or fix that? Because they've already been vetted, they've already been proven. So that's another great tip that I would recommend for you guys. But yeah, it's been about 2 months, and it's been a cool experience so far. I'm sure I'll be learning a lot more. Christian Milan says, established real estate agents know good, reliable plumbers, painters, and cleaners. Yeah, another great tip right there. Reach out to your real estate agent, for sure. I reached out to my agent, and he had a couple referrals, but they weren't in my area because he's a little farther out. So he kind of gave me some tips and said, hey, call up the people who are in your local town and build those relationships now. Amy says, I don't see a like button while on live. Oh, it's down there. You got to look down there. Smash that like button. It's there. I know it's there. Don't play me. Learn basic plumbing. It's not hard to do. Yeah, I'm sure there's certain things that you can do. But again, there's always an opportunity cost, right? To take the time to learn plumbing and different things, you could be spending it doing something you love or enjoy, or, growing your business. But yeah, I mean, I've got a couple friends of mine who told me stories of plumbers and different professionals who came out and they want to do a job that takes 10 minutes. They want to charge you $500. So unless you're worth more than $500 an hour, then I think that's a great tip right there. Do you still have the vet? Yes, the vet is in the garage. It should be coming out soon. I actually took it for a drive the other day. Swamp Picker, YouTube 101. When is the next CT thrift meetup? I want to try to get this thrift meetup within the next month. I've got to sit down. Maybe I'll do it today or tomorrow and figure out some days. But yeah, I want to get it done for sure. Andy says, you're going to hire someone to manage your property. Not right now. I want to manage the property on my own. I kind of want to learn the business. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to owner occupy, was because I wanted to be close to the investment. What's up, Angie? And I wanted to learn from the inside out how things go, communication, collecting rent, dealing with issues, hiring professionals to fix problems, repair, so on and so forth. So, I'm kind of learning from the inside out right now, but down the road, I could definitely see myself hiring a management company. The thing is, a management company's, it's pretty expensive. Unless you get yourself a good deal, they eat up quite a bit of cash flow. Around here in my area, they want 10% per month. So if you're renting, a property for $1,200, they want $120, and that's just essentially to fetch some calls and deal with some issues and whatnot. And if they need to replace a tenant because a tenant leaves, they want to charge you a 1 month's rent, so they want $1,200 just to find a new tenant. So I don't see it right now being something I'd want to do. I could see myself looking into hiring a management company when I have maybe like 3 or 4. But right now I'm just in learning. I'm not in make the most money phase. I'm not in try to like save the most time and be the most productive. I'm throw myself in the middle of it and figure out how it's done and learn and gain the experience phase. That's what phase I'm in right now. So Joanna, good to see you. Management companies spend your money like Congress. I'm sure they do. Again, I'm not super educated when it comes to a lot of stuff in real estate. I can only share what I know. But yeah, I've heard a lot of horror stories about management companies, right? That's why people say, when you hire employees or you're giving your money off to a financial advisor, like you're losing connection with that money. No one's ever going to treat your money the way that you're going to treat it. No one's ever going to take care of your business the way that you're going to take care of it. That's why you've got to make sure that you're working with really amazing people and companies. What's up, Amy? Good to see you. Good to have you in here. Do we got Christina or Martin in the house right now? That's what I want to know, because your channel is Christina and Martin from Thrift Store Gold. But who do we have? Do we have both of you? Management company is only good when you can't handle the amount of tenants. Yeah, right now I only have one. Well, I have 2 tenants, but I only have 1 unit. So, it's definitely something I can manage on my own. Look at your tenants' cars before renting. It will tell you how they take care of your rental. That's a great tip right there. I sound like a pimp. All right. You still working at Savers? Oh, man. I just got off my shift, and I don't know if you guys know or not, but I just literally got a job at Savers. I'm working there full time right now, and I'm not gonna play that joke. I can't tell you guys how many messages and how many people hit me up disappointed that I got a full-time job at Savers, but they never watched the video, and I told them it was an April Fool's joke. I also got a ton of videos of people like saying, that's messed up, you shouldn't say that, there's nothing wrong with working at a thrift store, what's wrong with you? Like, I got all types of messages, and I'm like, guys, relax, it was an April Fool's joke. This is a reselling channel about being a full-time reseller and a full-time entrepreneur. Isn't it kind of funny that I have a job at Savers? Like, people were butthurt over it. I couldn't believe it. But it was only a couple, but it was pretty funny. That's YouTube for you. Yeah, let me show you the view, guys. I'm in a beautiful park right now. You guys are gonna love this. Look, this is what I'm leaning my phone up against right here, a cold pressed juice. But I'm at a beautiful little park right now. It's really nice over here. Got people fishing. Look at this guy. He's gonna catch a fish on a Rake and Profit YouTube channel. Yeah, it's a beautiful little park right now. And that's one of the things that I love to do, is just come out here and think and figure out what my next move is gonna be, how I can improve things, how I can improve my life. And that's what it's about. You gotta slow down sometimes in order to speed things up long term. So many people get stuck just doing what they're normally doing. And a lot of people, their life is like a ladder that's leaned up against a building. And the problem is they wanna get to this certain place and, get to this certain goal. But the problem is the ladder is leaned up against the wrong building. They're never going to get there because they're stuck in the loop of doing the same thing over and over again. And that's one thing that I had to assess in my life, over the last year is, I had these goals of accumulating wealth, and here I am, I'm renting a property. I don't own any property. And I'm like, I got to get into real estate, right? That's just the short of things. But so many people, they're just stuck doing the same thing over and over again. And they're just confused. Why am I not getting different results? Why can't I quit my job? Why is my bank account at $2,000? Like, how do I get it to 20 or 30 or 50? Sometimes you just got to do something different. Or sometimes you have to be patient, right? And you have to be patient and you have to grind it out and do stuff you don't really want to do. Maybe that's selling clothing on eBay or flipping books. Maybe you got to do that for 3, 6, 9 months to get enough money accumulated to buy your first wholesale order, like Angie. We got Angie in the comments right now who's, doing wholesale right now. Or maybe that's, to be able to save up $50,000 or $60,000 to put 20% down on a property, or maybe $10,000 to Get yourself an FHA loan, put 3.5% down, get a property rented out, cash flow at $500 a month, and, you know, build from there, right? So Mr. P says, rake and profit should get into the rap scene. Throw me a word right now. I'll freestyle right off the top. But yeah, that's it. Over here at the park, just hanging out, relaxing a little bit. Got myself a little green juice. Please speak faster. I want to watch this at 1.5. When checking references, let's see what that said. Hey, take care, Swamp. When checking references, check with the landlord before the place they're moving out now. The current landlord say anything bad, get rid of the tenant. Yeah, that's a great tip. I haven't gotten to that point yet in my real estate career where I've had to like vet tenants. When I purchased this property, the tenants were already in the property and the lease essentially came with the tenants, right? So I'm going to have them at least for another, I think, 7 or 8 months. And then, you know, within 60 days of their lease terminating, they're going to have to give me a decision of if they want to stay for another year or not, or if I want to rent to them or not again for another year. We'll have to make that decision. So that's pretty much it. Just want to thank you guys for watching this video and clicking on this video. Hopefully this video was able to add some value to you. I just want to share with you guys a little update from the last 2 months of purchasing my first property. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys. Thanks, Alyssa. This has been a huge blessing. You inspire my boyfriend and I to work hard. We're on our 3rd month and getting more profitable each and every month. That's awesome. Really glad to hear that. You know, that's what this channel is all about. It's about helping people and, you know, giving back as much as you can. And, you know, we live in a world now where you can quit your job. You can make an extra $500 a month or $2,000 a month or $20,000 a month. Again, back to the analogy, you got to make sure you've got the right ladder leaned up against the right building. If you're looking to make $20,000 profit a month, you're probably not going to do that selling clothing on eBay. But there's certainly some areas in reselling where you could get to that and hit that goal. But it'll take time, or it'll take warehouse space, or it'll take just a certain business model. But that's what this channel's all about. Kimberly, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you coming on in. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you in the next video. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Biz Hacks. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.